ES Cinder, a remix of Dark Souls 3 by Rotaka. Folks, you know what that song means.
Uh,
Oh no.
uh,
Oh no, you not know what that means this time? Oh no, what have we done?
yeah. The notes are in front of me. Insert credits, round 87, creating a new normal.
Creating
Ha
a
ha
new normal.
ha
Good
ha. Ha.
good recovery. Good recovery.
Thanks. Yeah, it's like the words are right in front of me.
Gee, I get that same feeling. Well, welcome everybody. I'm MrBond.
I'm Tormod.
Insert credits. Oh man. Geez. It's I know it's the shortest month of the year and all, but it feels like this month has been going forever already.
Oh my god.
Um, Especially given like you won't probably feel the same way about the storm, but especially given the sub-zero temperatures in Wisconsin. My good gravy. It's been 2 weeks of this garbage. Well, maybe not 2 weeks,
uh,
but
well, we
a
are
week and a
below
half.
freezing right now.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's been sitting in the high 20s, low 30s for a little bit, but yeah.
Right. I guess I shouldn't mock people that get all freaked out about below freezing temps. Like down there, if you're not used to it, or if you lived there all your life or whatever, you're not up on the bullshit that winter can throw at you. So yeah. Welcome, welcome to winter, everybody.
Yay.
Oh boy, oh
I
boy.
I I guess I have this like, I don't know, pool in my head. Yeah, sure. It's called a brain. No. I
I
have this thing in my head going on like, okay, so what kind of weather am I going to be driving into in however many days? 7, 6, 6. So, yeah. We're going to see how it goes.
yeah. So far, it looks okay. There might be a little bit of snow, but not too much. But that's also like 7 days out, so it could change 20 billion times before then.
Yeah, well, I having been steeped in the Midwest for much of my life, I know what to not expect. So,
Good. Well, at least you'll know how to travel in it.
that is true.
Unlike people not native or not living in this region for a while. So,
Yeah, we're arguing over which car to take because of the merits of both. So, okay, both of the uh non-sports cars to take. There, that's better.
very good.
So, yeah.
Well, welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. This is just our little interlude to when we actually start talking about what we're going to talk about in insert credits. Anyways, this is a podcast about video games.
Yeah.
We talk about news in our first segment, then we play some kick-ass tunes, and then we talk about what we've been playing, and then more
Mhm.
tunes, and then we do some design at the end. In fact, today is going to be a little bit different than previous shows, at least
Oh,
for the final
yes.
segment. You may recall from last time that we did our normal ad hoc designs between the two of us, one game apiece. And then we did a little special, very, very live, very, very ad hoc design with random genres. And what was the second part of it? Themes, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
So, we found a fabulous website that will roll the proverbial dice and give you a number of genres and a number of topics, themes, whatever themes. Yes. And you can have between 1 and 4 of each, and we have to make a game around them. So that this is truly on the fly aleatoric game design. Yeah.
Yeah, we promise we don't have any notes about what's to come in the final segment of the show. You'll just have to trust us.
Mhm.
But that's what's gonna happen. Maybe in future shows, we'll actually show the thing generating the stuff that we're gonna be talking about, and then show the notes that we're doing. But for tonight, we're kind of running this as a little trial to see if we're going to replace the final segment with just the live ad hoc thing
Mhm.
instead of
Mhm.
the kind of the pre-prepared ad hoc that we've had in the past. And if it goes well, we'll keep doing it. As much as in a selfish manner, so that we don't have to prepare quite as much. Because once you get to 87 rounds of this, it becomes very difficult to generate ideas, as it turns
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. There's
so
only so many RPGs I can make, so
right. I would say the same about so many twin sticks, but I can generate those all day, every day.
so we're basically saying at this point we're gonna have one of those 101 shareware game collections at some point. They're all going to be twin stick games.
I wouldn't doubt it. We could definitely make that happen. They might not be
Yes.
very unique, but like of all those shareware games discs or whatever back in the day, like I think the biggest one I had is like 500 or so on a CD or
Oh
something.
god.
And
Okay, I was gonna say, at least it's a CD and not a floppy.
oh
Oh
yeah,
god.
yeah, and a majority of them are crap. About a quarter I could never get to work or to run to begin with. So
Uh-huh.
there were some gems in those discs though. Like there were some real gems.
ZZT?
I think there was a couple like different episodes of ZZT on one of them.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I always remember like the 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 advertising like one or two liners that they would have on some of those. I remember Duke Nukem's twos specifically touting 5 megs of graphics. It's just wild to think back to when that was a selling point. Um, 5 megs, of course, was quite a bit back then, I suppose. But
High
um,
fidelity.
yeah, right. And it was a good game, like it's amazing. But
Yes, especially for the
um,
time.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, but 5 megs of graphics, woo! But anyways, so first off, some housekeeping, let's talk about when we've got our next shows going on. I believe we have the next two
Uh,
scheduled.
yeah, and then my
Um,
browser window is super, super tiny, and I had everything ready to go, and yet
lol. That's right.
uh, did we?
We did.
Yes, I can't actually see those times of day unless yes. Okay, yes.
March
March is the 12th.
12th. Yes,
Yeah.
for round 88. I believe that will still hold just fine.
Uh-huh.
April, I believe we have the 16th for
That
round
is correct.
89. Did we go beyond that? I don't think we
It
did.
doesn't look like we did. Um,
Should we keep the kind of the rolling window of 3 going here?
yeah, why not? Let's do the 14th. It seems
14th.
to be pretty much the middle of the month. Yeah.
Fantastic. And that'll be the big 9-0, won't it? If my math
Yeah.
is correct, and it rarely is.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we have computers. They do it for us.
Okay, great. Well, then that will conclude housekeeping, and I don't want to think about anything beyond May for now.
Uh,
And we already kind of did the whole other housekeeping bit about the change in the third segment, so we don't need to cover that. As always, welcome and thank you for joining us, everybody. Let's get to the actual bits of the show that are exciting and cool. Around the world,
Woo.
some news. So Yo-Yo Games, the makers of Game Maker Studio, have been acquired again. They were
Again.
acquired pretty recently back in 2017 by Playtech. There was some, concerns about what would happen, especially what would happen to Game Maker Studio underneath Yo-Yo Games there, and nothing really kind of materialized that would turn people off of the game engine itself. So that was good. But this time around, they've been acquired by Opera. Yes, the makers of the web browser. And this is kind of strange, but what I was really surprised to learn about Opera is that they have a gamer-focused browser variant of Opera called Opera GX. Yeah, I had no idea this thing existed.
So this thing isn't a Pokemon game? Okay.
It is not,
Okay.
shocking. But apparently this acquisition of Yo-Yo Games and Game Maker Studio will now be part of the umbrella under Opera Gaming, alongside the gamer-focused browser of Opera GX. Still too early to tell whether this is good, bad, or otherwise, but we'll keep an eye on it and see what happens. There's been a fan port of the mobile ports of Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2 for PC.
Wait.
Yeah, I know.
How?
Right? I know. But
are we like decompiling APKs or something or what?
that is a good question. But to my knowledge, some of the actual Steam ports of the earlier Sonic games were actually ports from the mobile versions themselves. But this particular fan port allows you to zoom way out on the levels, so you can see pretty much the entire field in one screen. Obviously, it's pretty tiny if you're just doing like a normal 1080p screen or something. But if you got it in 4K, it's wild to see. Like honestly, a lot of these levels are fairly simple. It's really the mystique of the zoomed in section of the map that you can see in normal gameplay that really gives it a lot of flavor. Chemical Zone looks great. I love Chemical Zone just to begin with. Carnival.
I mean, it's got great music.
Yeah, it's the best music, honestly.
Yeah.
Casino Night Zone is a bit, blah. There's a lot of very solid color from all of the, filled in solid ground or whatever. But again, you don't see the whole zoomed out perspective in the normal game, so how would you know otherwise?
Yeah.
Hilltop Zone kind of suffers the same kind of thing. There's a lot of, very samey colored ground going on. Metropolis Zone is kind of eh. Mystic Cave Zone is kind of eh. But yeah, these two ports of Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2, I think they still exist out there somewhere. I don't think they got the whole big C and D from
Hmm.
anybody just yet, so I might have to go re-grab that and do a little poking around on my own. But very interesting that that sort of thing exists. I believe if you do play it like super zoomed out, one of the notes about it is that it can break some of the boss sections. Since when you defeat the boss, the whatever iteration of Robotnik it happens to be, he has to fly off the screen before the that fight can conclude. And well, when it's zoomed out, it doesn't exactly fly off the screen, so it's a soft lock.
Hmm.
So yeah, so be careful if you're playing super zoomed out, I suppose. Okay, so Microsoft made a little oopsie recently. They announced a significant price increase for Xbox Live Gold,
Hmm.
but then they backtracked 14 hours later from all the outcry. So, oops.
Announcing price increases during, what is essentially economic austerity right now.
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
Mm-hmm.
Way to go.
Very good read of the room by Microsoft once again. But they funnily enough, they didn't touch whatever their other subscription services like Ultimate Game Pass or whatever. It's just Xbox Live Gold. But that didn't last too long. So 14 hours later, they pulled that back in its entirety. So bravo.
Hey, sure.
Oh boy. So 11 years later, or rather 11 years ago, 2010. You remember a little game, kind of a popular game, Left 4 Dead 2, right? Very popular co-op zombie shooter. It was released in Germany and Australia, but heavily censored. All the blood and gore and guts were kind of taken out and all that, and it kind of really neutered the entire premise of the game, right? But now, finally, in the year of our Lich King 2021, it has been released uncensored in Germany. Australia still has the censored version, unfortunately. But hey, some progress has been made, apparently. So welcome everybody in Germany to being able to play the uncensored version of Left 4 Dead 2.
So you're telling me that the version that they had before was basically the Supernova Arc of Left 4 Dead?
Yeah, more or
Kinda?
less. More or less. They took out all the blood splatters, all the chunks and everything. So it's like I don't know. It's kind of like if you remember the original GoldenEye for N64.
Sure.
But without like the blood marks on the character models when you shot them. So it's like literally you had almost no visual feedback as to what happened. but the zombies would still die or whatever. But yeah, the funny part about the even funnier part about this is even the box art for it was very heavily censored. The Left 4 Dead logo was always like the disembodied hand with like a finger missing or whatever. The box art for it in Germany and Australia had a fully bodied hand without any blood marks on it or anything. So it's just kind of bland and generic and not really matching the Left 4 Dead theme at all. So very interesting changes to have been made and now reversed with the release of the uncensored version in Germany. Australia, sorry, you still do not get that.
Yeah.
Oh,
every time somebody says the word reverse, though, I keep thinking of that stupid song.
Which one?
Reverse, crisscross. Anyway.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Did not fire immediately.
No,
okay.
it's fine. Yeah.
So, a European Union consumer group has leveled a class action lawsuit against Nintendo for, you want to take a guess?
You can't hear that because my mic gate is set too high. Damn it. I was trying to do a drum roll for you.
Oh, okay.
Let me guess. It has to do with things going in directions they shouldn't.
Oh, gee, how about that? Yeah, you guessed correctly. The Joy-Con drift, a very well-known problem for the Nintendo Switch's joysticks, apparently. So there's a big old class action suit now going against them. Unfortunate, but not entirely unsurprising. EU has very robust consumer protection laws over there, including some provisions for durability of consumer goods. And apparently the sometimes less than 1 year durability of these Joy-Cons is a bit of a problem.
I'll bet. I'm surprised it honestly took them 4 years to do this though, because didn't the Switch come out in 2017? Pretty
Yeah,
sure.
that it's getting up there now. 2017 or was it late 2016? Somewhere around there, right?
I remember it being cold when I got mine, so it's probably 2017.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Kind of an interesting sidebar to this now is that Sony is feeling some heat for a very similar issue of analog stick drift in the PS5 controllers.
I just got one.
Yeah, right? So, what the heck? What the heck is going on with these supposedly, very durable, well, they should be very durable parts of these controllers just kind of going out left, right, and center here? Well, not center, obviously, that's the problem.
Good
Eh,
night. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So yeah, we'll see how that pans out. As far as I know, there's no legal action against Sony for the PS5 bit, although there are rumblings in forums and other places now about people being kind of upset that their very expensive PS5 consoles with their very expensive, albeit nice looking PS5 controllers, suffering joystick drift. You would think, after all these years of having analog sticks for humanity, that we would figure out a way to not have that happen as much.
Yeah. One would think.
So, a small callback here. I mentioned the original GoldenEye for Nintendo 64 just a couple minutes ago.
Mhm.
Well, there was apparently a remake of it for the Xbox 360 that was supposed to come out. But
Hmm.
it was eventually just canceled, just kind of very silently went into the night. There was a GoldenEye remake of sorts for the Nintendo Wii. I played it. It's
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
It's okay, but this one that was supposed to come out for the Xbox 360 was more or less just a little spit shine to the graphics and better frame rate, a full solid 60 at all times instead of the 2 you got out of the 64 eventually sometimes.
You're being generous.
I am being generous. Sub 1. No, PowerPoint mode.
Yeah.
But this ROM of a nearly finished version of this Xbox 360 remaster or port or whatever of GoldenEye 007 has surfaced. First, it was leaked to I didn't write the name down, but it was leaked to somebody who does full playthroughs of various things. So that was the first surfacing of it, and now it's actually available on the Internet Archive for
Okay.
download. For legal reasons, we probably shouldn't link to it directly from our own stuff, but just go to the Internet Archive and search for GoldenEye 007 Xbox 360, and you'll probably find
Archive.org.
it. Right? Yes, archive.org.
We can link to that.
We can,
I'll type that in
and we
because
will.
they're good.
But it's there. This particular ROM for the Xbox 360 version includes the full single player campaign with all of the graphically updated levels and all of this. It includes multiplayer mode as we would know and love,
Mhm.
as well as 3 extra multiplayer levels that were not present in the original. So there's some extra content here. There's still a few indications that it wasn't quite fully finished or fully polished up for a real release. There's some misspellings and mislabelings on the controller menus and stuff like that. Some of the assets are very clearly still the original N64 stuff, like some of the mission briefing screens and all of that. But all in all, like some of the level geometry has been updated. The textures are obviously way higher resolution. The frame rate is up to a solid 60. A very nearly finished remaster of this is now out in the wild. Unfortunate it didn't come to fruition back when it would have been very new and shiny and timely for the Xbox 360 generation. But there you have it. It made it out there.
Nice. I wonder if
Okay.
it can be played in Xenia. Maybe.
I believe that emulator was mentioned by name in the article where I read this from.
Ooh.
So yes,
Excellent.
it
Okay,
can be.
cool.
It can be. It's even properly signed as a non-development ROM. So this was like the actual thing that might have gone out after a little bit more polish. So it's
I was
not
gonna
even like a
say
developer
minus the
build or anything.
typos.
Right.
Cool. So it doesn't have debug symbols or anything then. Awesome. maybe.
No,
And
it's probably about as close as you could get to a released product, without that final pass, of course. But
yeah.
interesting that it's come out like many years later. Uh, there might be some more information on who exactly leaked it, but maybe we'll just let that linger in obscurity for a bit and not call too much attention to it.
I
But
was gonna say, don't
kudos,
get people in trouble. Come
right?
on.
Kudos to the person and or people that did it. Thank you for allowing us to view more of gaming history. That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
One more minor positive note before I hand it off to you there, Tormod. Ars Technica has released a list of best couch co-op games, because we're all stuck in this pandemic and all that. And one of my big favorites has made their list. Assault Android Cactus is on their
Really?
list of best couch co-op games.
Okay. So how many, I don't know, like public accolades has that game gotten,
Quite a
honestly?
few. Very
Really?
many. Very
Excellent.
many. Yeah.
Okay. I'm
So
surprised because people are like, tiny games, whatever.
yeah,
Not
right?
AAA.
Right? So originally released in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So quite an old-ish game by internet years by now. So like five,
Yeah.
6 years. It's had several updates since. The biggest major update for Switch and PCs is called Android Cactus Plus, which includes a full remixed campaign mode, more player skins, more extra modes, more everything, essentially, and available and out there. So if you're looking for good couch co-op, or even just a good it's a great single player game too. Assault Android Cactus is fantastic. I endorse it. I'm not paid.
Gee.
I'm not paid to say so, but I endorse it anyways because it's an awesome game and I like it.
So are you still doing weekly Infinity Drive attempts?
I am not. No, I haven't
Oh,
actually
okay.
played it since I did my whole Infinity Drive for Life event back in August, September of last year. So I've been staying away from it a little bit because that was a lot to play at once.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, I mean, it was enjoyable and betting against you was real fun.
yeah, and some people had more luck betting than others, but I'm glad everybody participated. It was a real good time.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So go out and buy Assault Andrew Cactus. It's a good game. It's a good game. All right, that's what I got for news. Well, what you got? What you got?
Okay. Well, so everybody should probably know the CD or the name CD Projekt Red by now because of everything related to Cyberpunk 2077.
Yes.
So, um, they got hacked legitimately. Like,
Hmm.
I didn't think it was real because they posted the ransom note and it didn't look real. It looked like it came out of the movie Hackers, but it didn't. So it's real. They had a development server get breached, and the infiltrators stole the source code to games like The Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077, and held their data ransom and basically said, "Hey, if you don't pay us a bunch of money, we're gonna release a bunch of records, and not only just the source code, but a bunch of shit about your company that it's gonna make you look worse than you already do."
Hmm.
And to my surprise, they posted the ransom note along with a statement on their Twitter account and said, "Hell, here's a screenshot right in Notepad for you." And it's just like, "Oh, okay." So either they don't give any fucks, or they're just trying to call their bluff. And well, it didn't quite work out for them because somebody bid on the data and they got it. So somewhere out there, somebody paid between $1 and $10 million for access to the source code at the very least. No idea about the other company data, but that happened.
So, do you really think though that if CD Projekt Red had paid the ransom, do you really think that would have made a difference? My guess is no.
I'm allowed to think very loudly in my head about things, but no, I don't think it would have made a difference. I do think that I would have had an emotional reaction had they done it.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna say anything else.
Okay.
I have opinions.
That's fair. All right. So I won't probably ever defend CDPR
Uh-huh.
for much. Their decision not to pay the ransom, I think, is good.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
think they would have been fucking themselves over even more if they had. Um,
Uh-huh.
but that's really the only opinion I have on the matter. Is good for them for not doing that. Period. Full stop.
Yeah. That's about it. Yeah. Um Crypto locker, etc. Yeah, you know the deal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, huh. This brings me back to like horrible, horrible memories of when ransomware started being a thing and having to work through that and helping small businesses who are getting hit by this and then being like, oh shit. And just having to dramatically change how things were done with backups and things like that. And fortunately, they did appear to learn because they were able to restore their backups and whatnot in obviously unencrypted form. But yeah, that brought me back to 2012 when that stuff started being a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm gonna move on from that because it's traumatizing. Speedrunner Joe Dunn, amazing person in my opinion, has completed The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 100% damageless, verified run in 31 hours, 59 minutes, and 9 seconds. A world
Jesus.
first. Damageless. All Koroks, everything. Damageless.
Wow. So he didn't even trip over and stub his toe or anything, huh?
Allegedly. I didn't watch all 31,
Well,
basically
geez.
32
Yeah.
hours, but I was just kind of like, what the fuck?
Wow. And I mean, clearly this isn't the first time they've tried to do it, but still, you got to think like if there was a second attempt at this made or whatever, and you get like say 16, 17 hours in, and you accidentally fall off a cliff or something, oops, there goes the past 17 hours of your run.
Uh-huh.
Start over. Oh,
Uh-huh.
that requires a level of patience that I don't think I would ever have.
Now I want to see it done blindfolded.
Oh my god.
That won't happen. Prove me wrong.
I
Um,
mean, I won't say it can't happen, but I think you're unlikely to see it happen.
I was gonna say that's a whole lot of entropy to be throwing to the wind there, buddy. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you never know. I mean, because I said it, it has to be proven true now that it is possible because, the corollary exists. So, oh man, quantum shit. Anyway, moving on. Mass Effect Legendary Edition, a 4K remaster, is releasing for PC on the 14th of May. And much to your delight, it's not just releasing on Epic Game Store, and it's also coming out on Steam.
Origin?
Really? Origin?
EA.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, yeah, right?
Basically, everything that isn't Steam is lumped into this dirty pile of things I don't want installed on my PC, but have begrudgingly because there's free games.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fair.
So,
It very well could be coming out in EGS too. I don't know. I don't know. But as soon as, like, anytime I hear of an EA game, like, remaster or something, I get a little excited
uh,
because, their games are pretty reasonable most times. It's just like, oh, it's a remaster. It's coming out. I'm like, then there's that little thought that fires into my mind. It's like, oh, wait, they have Origin, don't they? Oh, no.
and
Um,
what kernel level drivers are we going to have to install that totally fuck our systems and things like
yeah,
that?
that's a hard
Uh huh.
pass.
Yeah, exactly. Anything that is Ring Zero needs to die,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
except for the kernel that can stay. Um, yeah. Jeez. Uh, well, more Zelda news. Nintendo could possibly be revisiting The Legend of Zelda: Phantom Hourglass. It is the successor, not successor, well, sort of, but sequel, we'll say, to Wind Waker that was released on GameCube, and this game, originally Phantom Hourglass on DS. Amusingly, interestingly, in Australia of all places, a new trademark has been registered, which could hint at a potential future release.
Hmm.
So, you never know. I mean, we
Now,
did see Wind Waker HD, so
yeah. Now, as I recall, Phantom Hourglass is not very well regarded. Like,
I
people
mean,
don't really like that on the whole, I don't think.
I know this is going to be a really unpopular opinion, but pretty much any handheld console Zelda game has been really for me. So
I
Eh,
mean that's fair. Or maybe I'm remembering Spirit Tracks is the one that kind of got the most hate or the least love, depending on your perspective.
I mean,
Um,
it was pretty much on its own with the hey, we have trains
right,
thing.
right. And I remember playing Spirit Tracks and thinking it was okay. I did complete that one. I do have Phantom Hourglass, but I don't think I played all the way through it. So I might
Fair
have to
enough.
go back and play that and see if it really is as bad as people tend to think it is. I mean, like if we're venting unpopular opinions here, like I didn't like Wind Waker all that much. I was
Same.
not really a big fan of it. Um, but people love that one. So it's like, okay. I mean, no accounting for taste, but I don't know. Like as far as Zelda titles, handheld Zelda titles on the whole, I think they've been pretty solid. Link's Awakening is a huge like critical
Okay,
hit.
notable exception. Definitely not the rule.
Right. Certainly, right. And then there was Minish Cap, which I enjoyed that one. What turned me off of Minish Cap was something actually really stupid. But it was one of those kind of sort of pseudo modernish Zelda titles where Link yelled every time he swung his sword. And when you swing your sword a lot, that really grates on you. Surprise. Uh,
It wasn't Tingle.
no, no, I don't. Was
Huh.
Tingle in that one? I guess he
I don't
was. He
know. I
was.
think so. I think that's where Tingle debuted. Isn't that correct?
That.
Maybe?
Yeah, you could be right. You could be right. I don't know. I don't have anything against Tingle. Like I've got nothing personal against them.
I mean, I
Um,
just know a lot of people just really don't like Tingle, so I figured I'd
well,
mention it.
I mean, fair enough. Tingle is quite creepy, but oh no, no, Tingle was in Majora's Mask. I think that was the debut.
Oh shit, you're right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Tingle is in Minish Cap though.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I did just confirm that. Okay,
Yes.
so I am remembering that correctly.
Yeah.
But
But yeah. All right. So okay, I'll agree. Like the mobile, mobile, the handheld Zelda titles are probably not nearly as well regarded on the average as the normal console releases. I'll agree with that. 100%.
probably. Um I don't know. It's the 35th anniversary of the Legend of Zelda series this year, and I'm sure they're going to have a bunch of stuff. I mean, we're starting to hear rumors that Botwa 2 is going to release this holiday season. So,
35 years. 86? Really?
yes,
Damn.
Z1 released in 86.
Oh, good gravy. All right. Well,
Uh-huh.
now my bones feel like dust.
I've got I've got my boxed copy of Z1 sitting right there on the shelf that you can't quite see, but it's definitely going to come out of hiding once we have, our little Zelda bonanza whenever that comes about. So,
Oof.
yay. Gonna have to get you playing some Z1R or something. Come on.
Eventually, I'd like to give it a go at some point.
It's grown a lot in the last few months, apparently.
Last few, like that's been around already for a couple years.
Yeah, well, features keep getting added, so
Well, I suppose.
All
Phew.
right. Well, my last news item here is about a card game. Whoa.
Wait a minute.
I know, right? That's not what this show's about. No, no. Every kind of game. So Infamous. If anybody mentions a card from Magic the Gathering, it's going to be Tormod's Crypt. No, it's not. It's going to be the Black Lotus card because everyone's like, oh god, that card is worth so much money, and you can tap it for 3 mana of any color, and it doesn't cost any mana to play, etc. So that card first debuted in the alpha set, which, by you can probably guess it was the first set that was released back in, I don't know, the early 90s. Um Someone managed to keep a copy of that card in actually mint condition, have the artist sign it before the artist died, and then got it graded and whatever preservation that happens to cards, managed to get it with a perfect 10 out of 10 rating and sold it at auction. You want to guess how much that thing yielded?
Oh, jeez. 90s, huh? 300K.
Higher.
Jeez, wow. 400K?
Higher.
500K?
Higher.
Good gravy. Not 600K.
It was 500. No. It was
Okay.
$511,100 on an eBay auction.
Oh my god. What the
Uh-huh.
hell? Oh.
I don't know, man. Like, apparently, also in the realm of things made by Wizards of the Coast, booster boxes of first edition, first set Pokemon cards sell for like $400,000 now. Yeah, apparently in the last, I don't know, year, Pokemon cards have just fucking skyrocketed in value.
What?
So, yeah, apparently Wizards of the Coast makes things that people want and they're willing to pay exorbitant amounts of money for.
Okay. I mean, I won't. All right. I'm not going to judge out loud about what people do with their money. Like, they can
Uh-huh.
do whatever the heck they want with it.
Mhm.
Wow. That's. Oof.
You just had to.
I like no judgment there. That's just no judgment.
It's been a while, so, I had to.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. Wow.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Wow. Indeed.
All right, that's all the news I
All
have.
right.
Is it
Good.
time for Toonskis, as you say?
It is time for Toonskis. Many
Oh,
Toonskis. 3
right.
Toonskis, in fact.
Indeed. The first set is going to include And the Woods Shall Dance by The Stig from The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, followed by The King of All Monsters by Space Ghost from Undertale, and ending with Eevee Used Swift by Almighty Arceus from Pokemon 4th Generation.
So as we are into the shortest month of the year, I know it's been what, probably a shorter amount of time since our last show, since every other time. But I'm guessing we played some games since then. Yeah, one or more.
Some can mean one, right?
I mean, it's greater than zero. I hope.
Yay!
Okay, good. Whew. Jeez, scared me always. So
So
what you
I
got?
did. So I hmm. So I realized that Bravely Default 2 is releasing later this month, and that I never actually finished Bravely Default or even played Bravely Second. So I set about correcting that problem and started Bravely Default and got through what I thought was me being very clever. And apparently, I got the bad ending for being clever. So I was just like, wait a sec. This is not how this should be. But okay, sure. Very kindly, yeah. The game after I got the bad ending was like, hey, so you should keep playing. Would you like us to put you back before you made that decision? And I was just like, oh, okay. So let me keep the things from the final dungeon that I ended up getting and whatnot. And the game was quite a bit different after that. Um, I don't want to spoil the premise too much. Where I believe at the end of the actual ending, sort of near it, maybe. I keep saying this like every time I've been playing recently, and I'm on episode 18 next. So
Oof.
I have 66 hours in the game, and yeah, I'm not even wasting time. I had double encounters turned on and everything just to grind my way up to higher levels just to get things moving faster. My party is level 99 and they've mastered every job in the game, and I'm actually kind of struggling. So I don't know if it actually scales with me or if it's just a matter of, hey Tormod, you're really not good at this. I don't know, man. I want to
Ah,
finish this game. I want to move on. There's no way in hell that I'm going to have time to play the full Bravely Second, which is apparently a longer game before the other game comes out. So I ended up putting a poll out on Twitter saying, hey, what do y'all want me to do next? So right now, Bravely Default 2 is in the lead. So I might just have to have some filler if I can finish Bravely Default 1. As you know, I'm gonna be gone for a period of time next week, so I'm losing that time between now and the 26th, I believe, is when it releases. So if I can't finish Bravely Default 1 by the time that happens, uh, yeah.
so
So
you're for sure gonna be playing Bravely Default 2 as soon as it comes out. Then I'm guessing.
I sure hope I'm done with the first game by then.
Oh wait, what
But
about Bravely Second in between there though?
so apparently you don't have to play Bravely Second between them because Bravely Default 2 is a direct sequel to Bravely Default.
I see.
So, I don't really know what Bravely Second is. Maybe it's an interlude, maybe it's far in the future. I'm not really sure, but whatever. I'm doing what the people tell me to do. Um oh shit, I just remembered I also played a little bit of Tetris 99 for the first time. Yeah, that was a thing. It turns out that you have to strategize when you play that game. You can't just, not top out,
I
which is
mean,
basically the goal of
yeah,
any Tetris. But then you have people working against you, and then you have the hold queue, and then you can see 5 pieces in the future, and then all of these other things that I never had to think about before, and I got real bad at.
yeah. I would suppose just simply not dying would only carry you so far when you're
A
up
little bit,
against 98 other folks.
yeah. I'm not even that great at the marathon mode, which is just weird. Like the rotation system is different. There's a left bias in this game,
Hmm.
and
Interesting.
hard drop is a thing that I'm not 100% used to yet. Like a lot of these things are just things in tap, which is TGM2,
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
absolute, the Grandmaster 2, that full thing. But I just haven't gotten there yet. I'm still trying to get GM on TGM, the first one. And that game is, simplistic. Hey, you get to see one piece in the future. You don't have any weird gimmicks. You are soft dropping everything should you choose to. There are no hard drops. You don't see more than one piece, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm used to that style of Tetris gameplay, not this. And
Yeah.
it's a little frustrating being bad at Tetris when I've been grinding Tetris for so long now.
Yeah, but you're also dealing with garbage from up to 98 other people. So
That
there
that is true,
there
but
is a
even in
fundamental
marathon
difference.
mode though,
Oh, okay. All right, fair.
even in marathon mode, it's a struggle for me to finish a 150 line run, and I'm just kind of like, oh god. So yeah, I need to actually play the game and get good, which means I'm probably gonna have to start playing it on stream, and that's gonna be kind of hard for me because it's hard for me to be bad at things in front of other people. And I started working on that by just playing TGM in front of other people and losing constantly. I've literally never GM'd yet. So it's constantly losing the speed run that I've never actually had a finished game of. So
See, I mean, that's the way to do it though. Like if you're afraid of being bad on stream, the key is never to be good on stream, so there's no pressure.
I'm real good at that, honestly, but
See?
still, I am good at being bad. Um, yeah, I don't know. I guess the really roundabout way of tying this all back together is if I do manage to finish Bravely Default before Bravely Default 2 comes out, I'm going to play some iteration of Tetris, and it's probably going to be very rusty, regardless of what it is. So you can look forward to that maybe. Maybe if episode 18, 19, 20, or 21 or 22 are the last episodes indeed of that game. Uh, yeah.
So you said you're through 18 episodes right now and 66 hours in?
Let me actually look here. I think I finished episode 17. I'm going into
Oh,
18. Yeah,
17 into
that's
18.
correct.
Okay, so that's like 3 to 4 hours per.
Yes,
And your window here is 5 more episodes of 3 to 4 hours
realistically,
per.
maybe. Yeah.
And still thinking you might be at the end in in that span of time, huh?
I thought I was at the end of the game for like 15 hours now. And then it turns out that's not the real ending. And I got real upset because I put all of that time in and I just wanted to see what the actual was. And I was about ready to turn it off because it's like, do I really need to restore a save state to go back to before I made the decision to do that? Because who in their right mind would go through the entire fucking game again just to get the proper ending? Now it actually gave me a prompt saying, hey, Dingus, we're going to give you a free pass. And I was like, fine, okay. But yeah, I don't know if I'm regretting that decision or not. Like, where I am in the game is different. It is different from the cookie cutter, very tropey stuff that was predictable before. It is different. And some of it's really cool. Like, you got to see more character development by means of just having a different version of things that you otherwise would have missed. And it's cool in that regard. But like I said, level 99, mastered every job, have end game equipment. Like there's no shortage of anything I could possibly want. And I'm just getting my ass handed to me. And I'm like, what's going on here? Like, is this actually scaling or am I just really not a strategist?
I
There
would
are so many jobs in this game.
Yeah, I would really imagine there has to be scaling at that point because it feels like a real bad move to have design such that you have to do it a certain way. Like I would imagine like most RPGs would have that kind of easy out. Like if you really want to grind up to max level to get through it, go nuts, right? But I can't imagine that they would. Oh man, I don't know.
All right, so okay. Um so apparently they call this the Eternian Gauntlet. Fine. It's basically a bunch of bosses that you defeated individually before are now like 4 or 5 of them at the same time, actually working with each other in their battle scripts in order to fuck you over. Like, it's not unintelligent, it's real bad. Um, alright, I wanna see if it scales. I really wanna see this. I'm bringing it up right now.
I guess the other question is if you had known about that key decision point
Mhm.
beforehand, would they still have forced you into the bad ending the first time just as ha 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 you will get the bad ending regardless, or could you
I
have
don't
skipped right to the good ending, the good path, whatever?
I don't think so. Like, I think had you played it the good ending way to begin with, I think you would have just gotten the good ending because I okay. I really want to. I got to think of what I want to say because I really don't want to spoil the game for people because like if you don't know the gimmick in the game, it's going to ruin the game for you.
Right, right,
Like
right,
the
right.
game is pretty much this entire gimmick. So if you are clever and you start to realize what's going on before the characters do, and you argue with the characters because it seems like they're real dumb, and you instead do what you think is the right thing to do because you have the knowledge, even though the characters are oblivious to this apparently, you get the bad ending because you you're given an opportunity to
Hmm.
basically stop something from really or some excuse me, stop something really bad from happening. And when you do, you're punished. And I think that's
Interesting.
kind of backwards. But I can see why, like, hey, you would get more story out of continuing the game as if you didn't know what was going on. Because even if the characters do realize at that point and they're playing along with the gimmick, because at this point it's kind of breaking the fourth wall a little bit, like you get to
Hmm.
see more exposition and things like that. So I can understand why that would be considered the good ending because you just get more game content out of it. But I don't know. I'm conflicted about it. I'm a little mad, very frustrated. I honestly just want to be done with the damn thing at this point. Like, I want to call it good, and I can't because I said I wanted to finish the game, and I'm not finishing the game unless like I actually get to see everything. Because without spoiling again too much, the bad ending has you fight something that is not the final boss. And you don't know that until you get the good ending.
Hmm.
I
Okay.
unintentionally spoiled the good ending for myself by wondering like what the hell did I do wrong? Because this really seemed like the intelligent choice. So, yeah, spoilers, sorry. But like it does seem interesting and I kind of want to see what it turns out to be because I don't know the specifics of it, but I have this one fight at the end of this boss gauntlet, and it's a pain in the dick. Um, I'm gonna have to cheese it at some point. Like, there's gonna have to be a way because I just don't have the patience for this shit. Um, I wonder if it does actually scale because I'm looking at HP values for all of the bosses, and it says in one column level 70, and another column the HP values for the bosses. Hmm.
Hmm.
So yeah, actually, you know what? Google. I'm just gonna Google this question specifically. Do the chapter 8 bosses scale with your HP? Because I need to know. Do they? Does the game have level scaling? All right, please tell me that it does, otherwise I'm gonna feel real bad. Um, enemy levels do not grow with your own. Da, 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 da.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's a yeah, but in there, so I'm trying to figure where the yeah, but goes. Um, yeah, no, it doesn't look like it scales. That's depressing. Um, wow. Okay, cool. And I'm playing on normal difficulty, not even on hard. So, I don't know. I kind of figured like, hey, I'm going to grind off stream, just get everybody up to level 99, save the encounters because this game is actually kind of accessible. So, you can turn your encounter rate anywhere from negative 100% to positive 100% of where you're, I guess it'd be 200% really, but a
Hmm.
multiplier of none to 2 times basically. And you have increments of 0.5 times in there. So for the most of the game, I ended up doing 2x, and then I decided to grind off stream, which honestly didn't take long because I kind of found a good way to cheese it. Um, and I just turned off encounters at the end of the game because I wanted to get the story moving because there's so much shit. Um, yeah, yeah, I've been max level for probably 15 hours of gameplay, and I'm now running into a wall. So
Huh.
I'm not going to claim to be good at RPGs, but I am a little frustrated. Like I actually had to look up a strategy guide for, hey, here's how you probably won't die in before you can get your first turn off. Because one of the fights at the gauntlet here was basically like we're going to make you weak to fire and it's just a TPK right away. And I'm like,
I mean, I suppose it would help if you knew like what jobs you should be going in as, right?
a little
Or
bit. I mean,
or
like,
what you shouldn't be going in as, maybe.
so you get a cutscene before all of these gauntlet battles where like these bosses are talking to each other, so you know what the composition's going to be. You
Mm,
don't know what their
mm-hmm.
tactics are going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
you have prior knowledge going into this being like, okay, so in the past I've defeated these people in this order because they have debuffs or whatever the case is. And like I had the strategy of like knowing which order of people to get rid of, but then they started working with each other and that was just rude. So I've been rambling a whole long time. You have a very long list of games. I should probably stop being upset at the one game that I was playing. Okay, I guess two technically, but whatever.
Well, that's fine.
The
I've
game that I sunk 66 hours into this month.
Right, but I think like probably on balance, I've spent about that same amount of time on my long list of games, so you know
Fair.
it kind of works out.
All right, go for it though.
Okay,
I'm curious.
so since the last show, I managed to finish up Return of the Obra Dinn. Very interesting game. I think I kind of mentioned the plot last time, but we'll go over it quickly again this time. You are an insurance investigator for the East India Company, and you are investigating a lost ship with 60, I think 60 crew and or passengers were aboard. Your job was to figure out what happened to them, how'd they die, are they still alive, who killed them if they were killed by something or if they drowned or if they fell overboard or whatever. So that was a very interesting, very different game than what I thought I would enjoy, but I did enjoy it quite a bit. A bit of a slow starter because you've got almost no information at the start to kind of make your determinations about how stuff goes. But then you see, like, through the magic of this little death trinket stopwatch thing, you get to see certain memories of people before they died. And so you kind of tie stuff together, you tie names to faces, you see you know somebody shoot somebody like point blank or whatever. Oh, like okay, that's pretty obvious. This dude killed this dude. All right, that one's wrapped up neat and tidy. But then you gotta kind of deduce the rest. So that was very fun. I did spend 2 weeks on that, so it was a relatively short one as far as those types of games go for me. After that, I played Untitled Goose Game, and
Yeah, you did.
that was fun.
I actually got to see that one.
That was real fun to be a big asshole goose and just
I'm really surprised you didn't just
harass
fucking
people.
mash that honk button repeatedly,
I
unendingly.
I did for a bit, but I also need to enjoy playing the game, so I'd probably start to annoy myself if I just
I was gonna say
honked
the self-annoy
without
button. Yep.
end. Yeah, like the honk is great. It's fantastic. Honk, honk.
Uh-huh.
It's just like, oh my god, please, it's the best. So that was fun. That was a nice shorty at a full week. So I played through everything, all through all the scenarios, got you know all the main you know to do list items done. I actually went back off stream a little bit and finished like the speed run ones
Ooh.
on it too, which is fun. It's essentially you know routing and order of operations and a little bit of execution behind it, but nothing like too far beyond my capability. But that was fun. I definitely go back and play it again just to be an asshole goose again because that was surprisingly refreshing to do so.
Honestly, I'm waiting for people to mod that game. Like, there's got to be a way to find a way to extract the scripts and make your own events and things like that. There just has to be. So I'm really hoping that there's an Untitled Goose Game randomizer at some point. I think that would be really fun to see, honestly.
Yeah, I
And it's not
would.
a very big game, but I mean, you can make your own really wacky requirements or something like that. I think it'd be funny.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think the only thing kind of standing in the way of that is that everything that you're supposed to do in that game is really bespoke. Like there's
Mm.
no you know fetch x number of these things. It's there's some like some fetching in it, but it's unique items that you're fetching to do these things. So it's not like it can be easily spread across the different areas like that. and make kind of a little bit of sense. But yeah, I
Mhm,
wouldn't be
mhm.
shocked either if there were some mods out there or in the works, or even a nice little content expansion sequel. Cough, cough, house, house, please. But yeah, that was a delightful little game.
Mhm.
Quite fun and refreshing. And then this past week, I had started the week before, and then I finished up this week. Katana Zero.
Hmm.
Very weird game.
And by your
Um,
standards, that says something.
it does. It really does. Like on its face, it seems like a pretty standard, action platformer. Plan out your stuff, do it quickly, and don't die. Essentially, is really the crux of it. But the story behind it is just bizarre. And then there's some, optional content that you get to that explores some drug themes and some body horror themes, and
Oh.
it's honestly it's like the graphical style of it is pretty close to like 16-bit-ish pixel type stuff, but the way they portray something is honestly kind of stomach turning, and hard to look at. Not to its discredit. It's a great game and very well presented, but some of it's just like, oh, I don't want to look at that. But yeah, so I finished up that this past week. It was very fun. I did at the end try to do a hard mode speed run of it. That didn't go great. I've got very frustrated near the end, but it was fun. It was fun regardless. I might try it again at some point. On Saturdays, I tend to pick up just one-off games or revisit games that I like. So the past few Saturdays between last show and this show, I played a lot of Monolith on one-hit KO
Hmm.
mode. That was fun.
Nice.
I'm not super good at the game, but I'm good enough where I can get pretty far in it without eating shit. So that's fun. I played some Everspace as well on hardcore mode, where you start basically from zero with your most basic ship ever, and you can upgrade in between major areas. But each major area you have to choose a debuff to deal with as well. So you might lose inertial control, or be unable to repair your systems, or have your weapon capacity cut in half, or something like that. And some of those can be really scary, depending on which areas you're going into. I did not manage to complete a hardcore mode run, but I did get to like area 4 or 5 out of 7, so that felt pretty good for the one night that I did it.
Cool.
I also tried Bloodstained again. Bloodstained is the big Igavania from Koji Igarashi himself, right? Big
Mhm, mhm.
Kickstarter, lots of hype, lots of star power behind it, or whatever. They released a classic mode for it, which
Hmm.
is essentially puts the very very classic Castlevanias 1, 2, and 3 with the bloodstained aesthetic over the top, and it was interesting. It was a little bit of a weird mix, I
Hmm.
felt, because it had the 6 or 7 normal side-scrolling stage progression or whatever, with a few of the bloodstained kind of movement mechanics to it, which was a little bit, kind of a weird, strange kind of thing. The kind of the weirdest part about it right now is that they released another mode on top of classic mode called 1986 mode, which essentially
Eh.
strips out all of those extra movement options. So you're really down to effectively classic Castlevania now, which maybe I felt that would have landed better just on its own,
Hmm.
instead of this weird kind of half and half. But it was fun. It was fun all the same. I also tried to do one of the built-in randomizers for Bloodstained as well,
Cool.
in their standard modes, which was interesting. I think I would have done a lot better if I had played it probably more recently than when I first played through the actual Bloodstained game a while back. But it was pretty fun. I might revisit that again at some point. It's not quite as in depth a randomizer as you would think, like, oh yeah, like an LTTP rando or a Z1R or an Ocarina of Time rando or something like that. But it is like, first party full support rando. So interesting to see games kind of take that tack now more and more, where the official game actually has an official randomizer to it. That's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Also been doing some ALTTP rando. Was it last week or the week before? I think I did two. Open mode randomized crystal key sanities with enemizer turned on and full boss shuffle. First one went great. It was like a 140.
Mm-hmm.
Real good. I was real happy with it. So I made the mistake of playing a second one right after. I rage quit out of that one. That one didn't go so well. I had very, very bad boss luck on some of them, including 2 Trinexes in a row in a very bad spot. So I decided to stop making myself angry and just quit out of that one.
Fair enough.
But, whatever. That's rando. That's rando. Sometimes it giveth and sometimes it taketh away.
Uh-huh.
Okay, on the SPC side of things, Shmup Book Club, our shmup for February, Blazing Lasers for the TurboGrafx 16. A very interesting primary weapon mechanic to that one. It's kind of like, let's see, which NES game is the closest to it? Because it's like, I think it's Xanic for NES, where you can pick up like up to 4 or 5 different primary weapons and then power them up individually and then kind of swap between them if you pick up a different power up or whatever. It's kind of weird, but it takes a little bit to get used to. And it's not a very long game necessarily, but it has a very bad checkpoint system, like a lot of Gradius games do. So if you die at a certain spot and you continually restart from a certain checkpoint, it's nearly impossible to build yourself back up from that, and so that makes it a little bit frustrating. But it's a neat game, regardless. Good music and just good classic shmup fun. Our quarterly shmup for January through March of this year is Parsec 47. I played a lot of that yesterday for our last SPC. That one will destroy your thumbs if you don't have your controls set up right. But it's a lot of fun. I think I talked about this one briefly last time as well, as being written in R, the mysterious programming language that nobody else has heard of apparently, that I didn't even know about until I started looking up stuff to do with this. But it's a really weird, like, kind of vectorized graphics type thing, and it also has the weird conceit of being sort of procedurally generated. The enemy formations are random each run. The enemy bullet patterns are random each run, and within a certain set of kind of like available bullet patterns. So you can get like a really smooth starting run, or you can just get bodied immediately, and there's nothing you can do about it, except getting good, I suppose. But Parsec 47, very interesting. And then on Sundays, I've started assigning my Sundays to long plays, and the past like 4, 5, 6, or 7 Sundays now have been dedicated to Noita, which is a very rude, chaotic game. If we're looking for a scale of rudeness on 1 to Spelunky 2, this one slots in maybe slightly below Spelunky 2.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's very chaotic. Like, things are exploding before you even enter a certain area, and there's stuff from off screen that can just come in and wreck your day. And all the magic wand pickups are random. All the effects on them are random. You pick up random potions and whatever. And all that's all well and good. Like, you'd think a nominally competent player could get through a run okay. I think my aggressive play style is not very well suited for it, but it's still a lot of fun. So I'll probably play that again this Sunday, actually. I want to just get one complete run in it. I just want to get one. And I haven't yet, and I've played it for almost over 100 hours. So very difficult game, made not easier by the way I play it. But hey, it's fun, and that's the important bit. Okay, yeah, that's my big old long list there. I think it's time for Toonskis Part 2, huh?
Yep, go on for it.
All right, so starting off, we have a remix from Mega Man 2 entitled It's Been a Whiley by Diggy Dis, and then a remix from Chrono Trigger entitled Zeal by YMK, and then finishing off with a remix from Streets of Rage 2 entitled Malicious Intent by Spiral System. right, shall we get this actual live ad hoc going here?
All right, so I propose a rule.
Okay.
I propose that we are allowed to mulligan twice, so we can choose between three different rolls of the dice, but we can't go back to ones that we've passed up.
Okay, that sounds fair. I agree to such a rule.
Okay, I'm gonna roll the first set. Okay.
All right, go for it.
All right. Oh, wow, this one's really short. Um, the first option we have here is two genres and one theme. The genres include God game and first person shooter. The theme is perception.
Oh, dang, that's a pretty solid one, like right out the gate.
I mean, like I can imagine like a bolt gun, literally. Hey Zeus, how you doing? That kind of thing. But there's limited amounts of options that we could choose from. So I don't know if you want that one. Cool.
I'd be okay with going with that one. Yeah.
All right. Sure. All
So
right.
repeat that again. It was God game and first person shooter, right?
Yep.
And then the theme was perception, huh?
Perception. Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, what do you think? You want to follow the same format like we did last time and just go down this list of bullet points from your ad hoc design stuff and fill them
Yeah,
in?
sure. Why not?
All right.
We should probably leave the title for the end though.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So this is an FPS. Obviously, that's going to kind of dictate what kind of play style it's going to be.
Right.
How many players you figure we should
God
have
game
for this thing?
FPS. I like if we were thinking the standard split screen FPS,
Mm-hmm.
like the GoldenEye era to call
Yeah,
back
yeah.
to news and stuff. I think it'd be real hard to do probably more than two.
Probably.
But like I don't know. I don't know if you remember a game called Screen Sheet at all.
I know the premise,
Okay,
but I don't remember when it came out or anything like that.
like it was at one of the PAXs that we were at.
Okay.
So it's not terribly old, but the main premise behind that one was you couldn't see anybody on your screen, so you had to literally look at their screens to figure out where they were.
Right.
Um,
Yep.
so
Okay.
like I'm almost leaning towards that sort of thing.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know that establishes a real clear like player limit though. So, uh, hmm. I'm trying real hard not to like attribute this to a literal God game. Like God game to me is like city builders and stuff like that,
Sure.
or
Sure.
or even shit, what's it called? ActRaiser, right? That was almost a
Yeah.
literal God game.
Yep. No, I get you. I get you.
Okay, so this is interesting. God game and FPS.
Mm-hmm.
Number of players. Oh boy. Like I'd almost say a minimum too to make it really interesting.
Yeah, unless you're going to be playing against bots or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So two to let's call it two to question mark, right?
To the
So
question
so
mark.
we've
Okay.
got a baseline.
Okay. I can deal with that.
Well, we're a little bit constrained on input methods here, aren't we? Because
I mean,
like the God controls for FPS is really keyboard and mouse, right?
uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Or yeah, I've played some FPSs with controllers too, so like we're not too constrained. But I mean, aside from that, if we wanted to go exotic and go like VR gyro or something, I don't know. Maybe we can come back to that one.
I was gonna say that's a harkening to the old days where we got really experimentative. So
Right, right.
love it.
Okay.
All right, sure.
Yeah, we'll come back to input method. Graphic style. Oof. We're dealing with an FPS here.
Lots of browns. Hyperrealism, but hyperrealism with the lens of 2002.
Right,
I don't
so
know.
lots of chest high walls, cover
Uh-huh.
fire.
Yup.
Hmm. Well, I mean, if we lean into the perception theme a little bit,
Hmm.
and we lean into the chest high cover fire, uh, hmm. Maybe we shouldn't have taken this first roll.
I, I,
Huh.
you're still welcome to go and roll again.
No, no, that's all right. We're already into this one, right? It would be cowardly to back out. Uh, well, heck, like whenever we're dealing with FPS, I guess this is naturally a three-dimensional type thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like whenever we're dealing with three-dimensional, like my go-to is like real simple, like what we did last time, like Pet the Pup at the Party style,
Yeah.
like real simple, solid colors, blocky, not quite cel shaded, but sort of like that a little bit,
Yeah,
right?
no, I've been leaning on that a whole lot lately.
Yeah, like
It's easy to make.
it's easy to make, it's easy to kind of think about,
Mm-hmm.
and especially when you're dealing with FPS, like visual clarity is paramount, really. So, are we cool with going with that for a second time? Is really the question here.
I mean, if we're making our 501 shareware game collection that all looks the same, then I guess it would go well.
All right,
But
very good. Then I guess we'll call that the motion passes.
wait a sec. So is this suddenly turning into a twin stick now too?
uh, I mean, if you're playing an FPS on a controller, it is almost naturally a twin stick.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Not not in the traditional definition of a twin stick, of course, but
Well,
whatever. Simplistic solid colors. uh PTPATP to think about what the letters were. Okay.
oh no, is this going to turn into Babby's first FPS?
Oh no. Like a Wheels knockoff or something?
Oh goodness. Oh yes.
Oh no. Oh
Yes.
no, what did I just say? Oh no.
All of a sudden you just hear Sarkath out in the distance going, "Yes, yes."
Oh
Yeah.
crap. Does that mean our input method is tank controls?
Oh shit. Yep,
I
it is
guess it
now.
is. Okay. All right, so we've hit a lot of like the FPS angle of things. What about the God
Uh-huh.
game angle for some of these? Do those still match up?
So what you're talking about earlier with God, what the hell was it? Screen sniping and whatever. What the hell was that again?
Screen sheet?
Thank you, screen
Yeah.
cheat. So that could actually be kind of a God game thing you can go for. So if you wanted to take an element from that and be like, okay, so you can't see the other people, or you have to be really like spot on with your reticle to actually see them, unless you get a power up that lets you see everything, which is kind of God mode. That could be one angle for it.
Well, yeah. What about the kind of the opposite of that, where you can see everybody from a certain distance away, but as you get closer, they go invisible?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's turning that whole format on its head.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I like it. Okay. So, God, in the sense of you have a veil of sorts with your abilities to protect yourself at close distances. Melee fighting is otherwise going to be totally freaking pointless.
I mean, yeah. Yeah,
Just
that's
running around with a knife out
true.
and hoping you hit something.
Yeah, and then it turns into very much the screen cheat thing, right? Like you can look at
Uh
your
huh.
own screen for long range, but then oops, suddenly they close the distance, and well, good luck.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah,
So,
that's good. I like that.
all right, so we're dealing with like an inverted fog of war type thing here. I like that.
Love it. Yeah, no, that's great.
Okay, that doesn't change the graphic style. The audio style is going to be interesting too. Like, oh man, I feel like we lean a lot on positional audio too, which is
Hmm.
fine. It's just fine. Like really strong stereo, like would
Yeah,
really help us here.
I'm down with that.
Stereo, positional. Okay. I mean, point of view FPS, duh. It's kind of in the name, right? Story.
Yep.
All right. So admittedly, story is where I fall down super hard.
I mean, story is where we're just going to be bullshitting, so we may as well
Yeah.
leave that for the end. We're going
Okay.
to form the story around the stupid other mechanics that we make.
All right. You know what? That's fair. Uh, so the The hook is probably inverted fog of war, right? Can see other players at a distance, but they disappear close in.
Yep.
Right? Okay, that's a pretty good hook. Like I like
I
that.
like it.
All right, inventory then. So, FPS. Yeah, I would like if we're hewing to pretty standard FPS, like oh yeah, it's a battle, it's a battle royale, get in there
Mm-hmm.
and kill each other or whatever. Um, but given that we can see everything at a distance, maybe we try to limit our distance options for inventory or weapons or whatever, right?
Sure.
Or make them like exceedingly weak or something.
Yeah.
Stuff that you can soften up targets at a distance, but you need to close in to do the final blow or whatever. So
A crossbow
um,
that fires noodles, etc. I
yeah,
don't know.
okay, yeah. So weak distance weapons, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Um, like I'm almost leaning towards the extremes of this, right? Where you have weapons that are effective at very weakly effective at a distance, and then you have weapons that
Oh.
are extremely deadly close up, but you've got nothing for middle distance.
Okay, so I have an idea actually.
Uh-huh.
So what if we have ranged weapons that as the ammo flies, it changes to become weaker? Like, so for
Okay. Yeah,
instance, you would
yeah.
have something like bullet from a sniper gun. And for the first 100 yards, it's really deadly and effective and accurate. But the more it goes on and on and on and on, say the enemy's like 400 yards away, it suddenly turns into a freaking Nerf dart
Sure. Yeah.
or something like that.
Damage falls off sharply with range.
Yep.
That makes
And the
sense.
ammunition actually changes. I think that would actually
Okay.
be really
Ammo
funny.
visually changes as it or projectiles.
Yep.
Projectiles
And
visually
hey,
change.
if the projectiles change, we could also have different properties for them too. Like they might just become less aerodynamic or things like that too. So you might be able to lose accuracy that way too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Projectiles visually change. I don't know how to word that, but their properties change as well. Whatever.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
yeah.
not an English paper. What do I care? Visually change. Distance properties also change. Uh, like weight, gravity, accuracy, etc. Okay. Well, given that, then, do we even need anything else? uh,
Honestly, like, I think we have a solid base. I think just playing on those strengths of the weirdness of it is really going to bring this game home.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And it's simple too. Like, we don't need to flesh out every possible thing. Like,
No, I
if you
mean,
have just the one weapon, that's what you have. You just need to make good use of it. Um,
sure.
okay, I'm cool with that.
Hey, okay, one other thing I just thought of
Uh
though.
huh. Uh
Like,
huh.
say you have a traditional melee weapon and either via power up or a statistic that gets applied to your character for whatever reason that could change over time. Um, being able to throw a melee weapon at range will not decrement its strength because you actually have to have the reflexes to be able to do that real quick. So you have like an actual drawback and you have to throw the thing. Like you might be able to throw knives or something like that. And it wouldn't lose strength over distance, but of course you wouldn't be able to chuck it that far unless you had like superhuman strength or something.
Okay. All right. Plus, like a one-time use, but presumably retrievable, right?
Yeah,
If you whiff.
I'd say so.
One-time use, short to mid-distance, powerful weapon, like a knife or something. Who knows? Okay. Okay. Yeah. 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 Can you steal others' stuff that they throw and miss? Can you pick theirs up?
Ooh. You know, why don't we throw some bullet time in too then? So like if you have fast enough reflexes, you can actually like catch the shit that's coming your way.
And steal,
Huh.
catch, throw knives. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
I like that.
With or without bullet time, depending. Dealer's choice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. That's solid inventory.
Cool.
Two is better than one, but two is probably as much as we need.
Yeah,
Okay.
honestly, I think those are great.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we muddied mechanics and inventory a bit, but that's okay.
It's fine.
It's fine. You're right. See above. Objective. Win the battle.
Yeah, survive the longest.
Yeah, up to 10, 15, 20. Last man standing. Capture the flag, sure.
Why not?
I'm just thinking of the standard FPS game modes, really.
Last flag standing. I don't know, man.
Standard FPS game modes. Okay. Okay. Well, the two things that we left to the end then, story and title. Well, okay, so think about this for a story then. In the pantheon of gods and goddesses and whatever, they got super bored. So they decided to turn to blood sport. But
Yes,
being gods and goddesses and whatever, they can always respawn. And so the games continue and they entertain themselves with it. Here's your dime store.
Oh, no.
Your dime store summary of it, really.
Okay, I'm sorry that inspired me to mention one more thing.
Okay.
The one power up in the game, wine.
Ah. Yes. What does it do?
Hey, you know what? Why don't we just have it have a mystery effect every round?
Ooh, mystery effect. Okay.
Yeah, why not? It could be good. Very rarely can it be something terrible. Who knows?
Good or bad. Okay. All right. Just to throw some chaos in there. I like it.
Hell yeah. Got some Loki going on.
All right. So we're leading on that stupid god bloodsport thing I just spouted out then?
Fuck yeah, we are.
Oh no, what have I done? Oops. Well, I think it could help if I could spell here. And deities. Get bored with humanity. Turn to blood sport among selves. There we go. That's a good summary. I think.
I'm good with it.
All right. Very good. And then the title. Oh boy. This is gonna be stupid.
All right. It needs to be something awful and punny. It has to be.
Yep.
Damn. I have. I need to think of a rhyme. Give me a moment.
Shoot.
No, that's not good. That's just a lame joke. Oh gosh, this has to have like a 2-word zinger of sorts.
Yeah.
It's
just like I was angling towards something like Gods, the Deadliest Game or something, but that's not good.
Tom, help me out here. You're my phone a friend. If anybody can have terrible humor outside of me, it's definitely Tom.
Audience participation here. Throw out some ideas for a title of this God game FPS where they're into just killing each other over and over because they can for entertainment purposes.
I mean, we could actually go with like classic early 90s 16-bit and say like Gods and Goblets or something weird like that, but that's not punny.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. I can see where you're going though.
Instead of like ghouls and ghosts,
Yeah. That's what I got.
Let's think here.
Well, if you want to go really stupid, Gods with guns.
I mean, it sounds very shareware.
It does. It really does. Gods with a Z though. It's got to be a Z.
I mean, guns has to have a Z then too.
Yes, it does. Oh no,
or the fucking paragraph symbol or something stupid.
That sounds too much like Gun Gods though.
Oh, that's
Okay.
Well, I mean, then it does sound like a knockoff, so maybe.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. I'll mark that as a runner-up because I feel like we can find something better.
God damn it.
Hmm.
God damn it.
That might be a bit too much on the nose.
Well, you know. Um. Oh shit.
Oh no.
Bloody hell.
Ha! Ha! Oh. Oh no. Oh no. I kind of like it.
That one just, oh, that was a spark of inspiration. Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm good with that
Screw
one.
that runner-up title then. Bloody hell it is.
Hey, Dueling Deities isn't bad.
Dueling
We'll
Deities is
say,
pretty
bud.
good too, huh?
Yeah. Bloody hell, though, definitely makes it sound like an early 90s game, though. Like,
Okay. Um.
Gods with guns, though. Randomize the title every time you launch the game.
Okay.
Participation award.
Yeah. The participation award. We'll keep it there because it's fun. It's history now.
It is. I really hope we get fan art of this someday.
You know, this kind of wars with my recent playthroughs of Hades too. So now I'm just imagining those depictions of the Greek gods and goddesses just going at it in this weird FPS game, and it's ridiculous.
We've just been challenged, though.
Obscenely long and redundant. We kind
So
of
it
did
has to be
that.
like blank the blank colon. Uh, oh God. The blank blank insert number here.
Well, I mean, we've got the component parts, right?
Yeah.
So let's see. Let's find an order for it, right? Uh, Dueling Deities, colon, uh, bloody hell, 3 subtitle gods with guns. No, that's too stupid.
No,
Uh,
no, no. Actually, that's extremely 90s. No, that's 2 subtitles though.
yeah, it is. It is. Well, how does one do a second subtitle? Like,
I don't know.
like Bloody Hell 3 featuring gods with guns? Like, is that a thing?
And Knuckles.
And, and Knuckles.
Damn it.
Well,
there's goddamn it again.
Part 3.5. Okay, I'm gonna get the initial 3 out of there then if we're gonna do it. Like, then this starts turning into some ridiculous Kingdom Hearts level like
Exactly. I
titles.
thought that's what you were doing.
It was kind of where I was angling towards as well. But honestly, nothing holds a candle to the actual titles of those games, so it's like, oh man, why even try that?
Yeah.
Knuckles Part 3. God's Gone Wild. Oh, that's really good
God's
too.
Gun Wild. Oh God. That's Oh, no, 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 no. Okay, okay. So hear me out. So like if we're doing this obscene Kingdom Hearts-esque thing though, no, it
Okay.
needs to be part 3.5.
Uh-huh.
You know how ordinarily it would be like Chain of Memories or something stupid at the
Mm-hmm.
end? Calling you out, Square. Just put it at the end.
Okay, okay. So here's what it sorted out to now. Dueling Deities,
Uh-huh.
colon, Bloody Hell featuring Gods with Guns, part 3.5, God's Gone Wild. Oh no.
Yes.
That's a title. That is a
That is
title.
that is several
That
titles.
is many titles.
Oh wow. The game has its own honorific.
Oh.
Huh. Yep. Okay. Okay. I
Uh,
think we're done.
you know, that kind of wraps it up neat and tidy with a little bow at the end.
I will say this though. Would you like to know what the other two dice rolls would have been?
Sure. I mean, why not?
Okay. Dice Roll 2 would have had 4 genres and 1 theme. First genre, virtual reality. Second, maze. Third, game.
It
Fourth, quick time events. This actually would have fit the same game.
it really would have. That's distressing.
So theme was appearance.
Okay.
So realistically, like had you thrown a VR headset on, this would have fit.
Yeah.
This could have literally been like a labyrinthine game that would have done the same shit.
Yeah, it would have, wouldn't it? Okay, well,
Alright.
what's lucky number 3 then?
Okay, 2 genres and 4 themes.
Okay.
Genre 1, roguelike. Genre 2, sports sim.
Oh,
Paren, not racing paren. Theme, number 1, software. Number 2, math. Number 3, fortune. Number 4, weakness.
oh man. All right, that one's a little bit more out there.
Yeah, that one would have been very challenging to end up on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is that's what
Okay.
we ended up with.
I think we did a good here ultimately.
We did. I mean, honestly, dice roll number 2 would have been fun as well, but we would have ended up with largely the same thing.
Yeah, we surely would have.
I mean,
Well,
honestly,
we
we
could have.
probably would have looked back at the first one and been like, "Oh, hey," and gotten some inspiration from that because, it's the same thing with fewer parameters. So,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I love it. All right, cool.
Phew. All right. Well, we'll call that one good.
Excellent.
All right. So now that we have 2 of these like going here,
Uh-huh.
do we feel comfortable enough with this as a replacement format for the third segment?
Is this a real question?
Yes, it is. It is. I'm legit curious if you think it's a strong enough entry to replace our prefab ad hocs, I guess.
Let me get my best Skinner impression. Yes.
May I see it?
No.
No. All right. Well,
All
very
right.
good. I think this would be a successful trial then, and future insert credits will have this for the foreseeable future.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah,
Excellent.
we absolutely have to encourage terrible names for these games from the audience because we had some fantastic submissions.
Oh my god. Can't believe
Oh,
I
excellent.
still can't believe that title. That's ridiculous.
It yes. The whole game is ridiculous.
I know. I know. I'm gonna move that back to the top. I'm gonna move the title back to the top. I just put it down there
We
because we were at
okay, so we're doing one of these a month.
mm-hmm.
I'm wondering, I'm getting a really bad idea here. What if we found an artist once a month to make box art for these things?
Oh, oof. Who would be who would who could carry these brilliant creations to their fullest potential in
We'd have
box
to
art
find
form?
out.
Oh boy.
Like, I have an idea for this one, honestly, and I'm pretty sure she'd be okay with it.
Okay, like if you want to float the title to that person and see what they come up with,
Let me put this in my to-do.
and
Oh, heck.
like if this turns into like a commissionable piece, we can talk about that.
Okay, it is in my forever length to-do list.
uh,
Yep.
I know that feel.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. All right. Um, we may have some. Oh, hey, actually, if these are successful, we can actually debut them on our next show.
We can, yeah. since we
Yeah,
have a visual portion that we can share.
excellent. Okay, cool. Well, let's see what happens.
Dueling Deities, Bloody Hell, featuring Gods with Guns, Part 3.5, Gods Gone Wild. Oh, oh no.
God damn it. I'm gonna keep saying that. No, it reminds me of fucking South Park with Backdoor Sluts 9.
Yeah, right?
All right, woof. Anyway,
All right, I think we'll call it there then.
yeah,
Very
yeah.
very good. Like good job on the ad hoc design to both of
Good
us. I
job.
think. Oh my god. Oof. All right. Well, I think with that, then we are going to wrap up here with insert credits round 87. Anything more we need to say before we shove off for the night?
I don't have anything witty. Let's just get out of here.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Well, thank you very much for joining us, everybody. I am MrBond.
I'm Tormod.
I'll leave you with our typical closing track, a remix from Mario Kart Wii entitled "Wind in Your Hair" by Overclocked University. Good night, everybody.
Ciao.